Monday, August 25th, 2014. It is about 9:37 a.m. I'd like to note that notice was given for the meeting manner for the time required, and that all members were present. Be convenient for you, please stand.
Let us pray. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for the day that you have given us. Thank you for all our wonderful blessings. We beseech you and ask you that you bring rain to this parched land. We need it so badly. Please help those in uniform everywhere in the world that stand between us and the evil that lurks in this world. Help us to do what is right in these positions that we have been asked to perform. For the folks of Young County. In God's name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you for your taking. Item number 3 on our agenda, public hearing. This public hearing is required by the local government code, and its purpose is for discussion and to allow any members of the public who may be present to make any comment they wish on the proposition of proposing and adopting a budget for the 2014-15 fiscal year and establishing tax rates for this year, 2014. Are there any public who would like to speak to this matter? Is there any for the court who would like to speak to this matter?
I'd like to make a statement and saying that I appreciate all of your effort on behalf of the Young County to put together the budget that we put together. We relatively have cut last year's budget, except for the things that we, inflationary that we had to pay for to keep the government running. And some additions to the budget that we felt were necessary for the conditions of Young County to improve or sustain itself. So I congratulate all of you on the cuts you made to your personal budgets and the budgets that we have around. Thank you very much. Good job, gentlemen.
Any other member of the board or any other officer? Okay, the first order of business here is the adopting budget. I need a motion from a member of the board saying that I move to adopt this budget of Young County, Texas, as presented this 25th day of August 2014 and effective upon October 1, 2014 for the FY 15 budget year. And then a second. Wiley. Second. Second. Sipes. Mr. Sipes, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Pruitt? Aye. Mr. Rogers? Aye. Mr. Wiley? Aye. And County Judge Nurse Hathaway. I note that all members of the board will confirm the option that this budget requires a tax increase according to your 1108, that's local government code. This budget will require raising more revenue for property taxes than in the previous year. I move to ratify property tax increase as reflected in the 2015 fiscal year. Second. I'll make that motion. That's motion by county judge and second by Commissioner Wiley to ratify the tax increase that is included in this budget. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Aye. Please have the record votes.
Anybody know that the increase is just, I haven't seen it.
We've got the budget adopted. Order ratifying tax increase. The next thing we need to do is establish the tax rates to fund this budget. Will have to be in two parts. One part being the debt service rate required to fund the debt that we have incurred in regard to Young County Law Center jail. Cheryl, in this budget that is presented, what is the total debt still remaining?
Okay. 7 million.
Seven million.
$7,308,138.75.
7,308,138.
Yes, sir. 138.75.
That is the only bond debt that Young County carries at the present time. That rate we have has been calculated, Cheryl and I, along with Luke Robbins and the assistant or Luke Randall, we've calculated that rate necessary at $0.076304 value. Need a motion to establish that rate. Is there any discussion? Not all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That's 5-0. Next will be a rate fund maintenance and operation portion of this budget. That has been calculated by the same team to be set out point. Well, about the same thing, by this budget, this quarter. It's set at .492553, which is half a penny, I believe, below last year's maintenance operation. We will propose to move that rate.
Second.
It's a 5 I'm Matt Pruitt, move that the property tax rate for maintenance and operations be set at .492553 for $100 value, and that motion was seconded by Commissioner Peacock. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried 5-0, all in favor. Okay. Now comes a motion to the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of .568857, which is effectively a 1% increase in the tax rate. That's calculated, that's the calculation of the effective rate. That team I described a while ago, that it's been calculated to be that, though it's somewhat lower by 2 pennies or more than our previous year's rate, it's still slightly above the effective rate. Calculates to be 1%. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Wiley, you second that?
Second.
Is there any discussion with regard to the total effective rate? All in favor?
Aye.
That carries. Now I have to read this statement. It's going to be kind of a little bit confusing because of the circumstances that are available. This tax rate will raise more taxes for maintenance and operation than last year's rate, and the tax rate will effectively be raised by 1%. And will raise taxes, it will not raise taxes, it will lower taxes for maintenance and operation of a $100,000 home by approximately $17. I know that's confusing. That's why I started with the late. I'm sure that's the way that was, but it makes reference specifically to the maintenance and operation tax rate. And it was effectively lower. So it will lower the tax burden on $100,000 home as compared to last year. Okay. Is there any discussion there? All in favor of such statement?
Aye.
Any opposed? Excuse me, you did well,
That was the last one,
I just have to read that statement.
That statement's in our packet, will change from if we don't lower taxes.
It will actually lower cost on $100,000.
I guess you nailed it. One more time.
Okay. Make sure that is true.
Oh, great.
We'll all have to sign that little thing. The three of them. I think he's had a little difficulty. Is there any further comment or from the public or any commissioners with regard to the budget adoption period? The process of Congress adopting the budget for 2015 fiscal year.
It's been really hard. I mean, you had 3 employees this year,
Yeah.
still drop.
Not voting machines.
That's a cut. That's a cut.
It's great that you worked all together and everything was pretty
I appreciate you all very much.
good. Appreciate you. He's worked to live with it.
You have to have a link in. You don't get all
She has the
that.
money, I count things.
I'll ask for a motion to, exit the public.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Rogers, second by Mr. Wiley, to conclude the public hearing. All in favor? Carried. Item number 4, public comments.
And present for information, the order from the district judge on the salary court for the county auditor and assistant auditors. He showed an increase of 3% as the commission. So non-marked up this year, for the revenue.
I'd like to open that order. Look at that, okay, Jim, who's on?
Sir.
Here to introduce yourself.
Sorry? Your colleague. Okay, sir. I'd just like to take a moment to introduce my new deputy. I'm here in Ireland today. This is Dave Underwood. You want?
Thank you, sir.
And I just want to take this time, since I wasn't here last week, to answer any questions you guys might have had on the MRAP. My understanding there were a few, so.
There's a lot, if you don't mind me asking.
Absolutely.
Why do we need it? Why do we need it? This one.
Well, there's a lot of reasons. First of all, protection of our deputies and any other officer in this team.
We'll come back to that one.
Secondly, protection of the citizens. Which, when the bullets start flying, we need something to protect us. Ultimately, that's the final resolution for that. But there's a lot of circumstances where we can use a vehicle, barricaded subjects, hostage situations, school shootings. I mean, you know, there's endless possibilities for it.
Okay. He's talking about, you said, safety of the officer and the safety of the public. Yes, sir. Which comes first? That's your public service.
Yes, sir.
Does that not send an image to the public that the police force is rather over-equipped?
I'll jump in here.
Absolutely.
Okay, armored vehicles, all your big agencies use them. It's not really for patrol operations. I mean, it's not to go out and do anything. You're talking warrants and like, you know, if you're making entry to the house, it's for protection because that puts something between you and them. Other uses, you take fires. If you had to go in, grab citizens and roll them out with it, you've got a vehicle that has some potential to have play there. lot of people try to say this is militarized, you know, we're militarizing the police. That's really not the case. Now, with that being said, if you look at statistic data in the big cities that have active SWATs and full-time SWAT teams that utilize these vehicles, lots of people are coming back from the military. So it's not just some drunk redneck out shooting, you know, deer rifle. So I mean, more technology we can put into use against that, the safer it is for the citizens, safer it is for us, safer it is for whoever we're going after.
I think my questions here was not about the militarization of our police law enforcement, but it's the beginning of militarization. Well, it's not, maybe the government have something else in mind when they name these things out in front of you guys? To say, here, we've got something here real nice for you, make up whatever you want to use it for. I mean, what are the possibilities versus probabilities?
I understand where we're going with that, and I believe someone had a question about whether or not the government was staging these vehicles across the nation to use in case something happened. I can assure you that's not the case. They do belong to the Surplus program. So in the event that
So they could come get that.
absolutely, they don't belong to us, unfortunately. So they can always come back and get the equipment. But however, what you guys in the public have seen are just these high-profile vehicles. Okay, we receive a lot of gear, a lot of equipment from the Texas 233 program, which is
Go back and explain that, what program is and how is this acquired?
it's the Texas 233 program. This is it's.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
And then it's been going on. I was a police officer in 1990. It was there.
That's when it started, I think.
Right. And it was there then too. So that line of thinking, I said that you're wrong. It's been there.
I'm saying the whole program is evolved and,
You know,
to different things.
Technology's involved in our military. You know, we just pulled a lot of units back from overseas, so there's all this surplus. And we get off track here for a minute. But look at your volunteer fire departments. They receive military surplus equipment to put their brush rigs on. So are we militarizing the fire department?
That equipment's a little more benign than an MRAP.
Because it's been red.
No, because the MRAP was designed to carry soldiers into hostile situations. That's what it was designed for. It was created as an attack vehicle. Or as a, defensive vehicle to get people out of harm's
It's a
way.
defensive vehicle.
Okay? Is an armored transport vehicle. It is nothing else.
It doesn't have weapons mounted to it.
My concern is if we've got our children sitting and watching TV and watching all this on TV, those are always seen in a military war zone type situation. And when they see it in their town, are they questioning, do I have a reason to be afraid of what's going on around me because of the presence of this thing?
look what happened in St. Louis. They used them there.
But
That was.
they had to call those vehicles in from other areas. Does it send that image?
It is.
Well, I was saying, I mean, if the right people are talking to their children and they're seeing these things, that's there for their protection. I mean, don't paint this image of, hey, they're rolling this thing out because they're going to use it against you. I mean, but it's there. If there's a school shooting, like he said, different things. I mean, if you want to go with the kids seeing that, then I mean, that would go to the parenting issue, in my opinion, saying, well, what are you telling your kid? I mean, are you explaining what that thing is used for? And it's not, like I said, it's not a patrol. You're not going to see it just cruising around town like on a patrol operation. I mean, when it rolls,
Right, that would be crazy.
right. But I mean, it'll be going to and from. So hopefully, if that event is happening, they'll see it in use, going for protection more than. I mean, they'll ever see it.
Well, we don't want to see a wedge continue to get pushed between the citizens you protect and the people who are protecting them. And of course, the news media is not helping you guys out here. Getting to know you guys personally is where it comes from in a small community.
Right.
We all know you. But if we own that vehicle 5, 6, 10 years from now, and you guys aren't there, and we should start hiring people who maybe are ex-military or from the Metroplex, from inner city where they think urban people with a gun are domestic terrorists. And they no longer feel like us carrying our weapons to and from our deer leases in the back of the trucks is something we ought to be doing.
Well, one other question, does the sheriff's department, do they have any other vehicles?
We have one other armored vehicle we required from Laredo, and we're still working to get it fully operational. It was acquired with the same program and non-operational.
So it's not, it wasn't on the first run. And that is an armored vehicle like this one.
It's similar, yes, sir. There's a lot of issues with it. I can agree with you. The biggest issue with that one is, and why we haven't spent a lot of money and time on it, is because it's manufactured on a Ashok chassis, which was made in India. And the actual
Only in
vehicle
America.
was manufactured in Africa. So getting parts for that, it's nearly impossible. This is manufactured on an international chassis. So we can go to Napa or AutoZone and get replacement
Or
parts.
should we get rid of the other armored vehicles?
We can turn it in back to the program or donate it to another agency that participates. And that's also been discussed as we speak. So
Well, I just,
it's not,
it's the money. How much money is this thing going to cost us over the next 5 years?
it's like Underwood said, it's not going to drive a whole lot. So
But in order for it to be effective, it's got to be constantly maintained and ready to go at a moment's notice.
The way those things are built, in my experience in the military, I mean, they surplus built. If you drive on a military installation, you'll see a parking lot with just trains, armored vehicles, tanks, everything lined up. They're designed, and if they sit, that's what they're built for. I mean, you know, with doing some SWAT tactical training with this deal, it'll run a little bit enough to keep it maintained, but really, it's no different than I would compare it to a piece of heavy equipment. It can run for hours and take a lot of abuse before it needs anything. Now, when it does need something, yes, the maintenance cost will be higher than, say, a Ford pickup.
Have you guys developed any kind of rules of engagement or rules of implementation? When it will roll and when it will not roll, so that we know what to expect?
we're also working on this one. You know, it was one of those things we applied for it. And they called and said, you have this many days to get here and get it, or it's gone. And as well as your status with the 1032 program. But on piggybacking on your maintenance issues, that surplus program, we can get bulldozers, we can get nuts and bolts, welders, generators. We're working for spare parts for the vehicle. So if the engine explodes, we can apply for another engine, and it's free. So everything on that program, I mean, it's not just restricted to lawn. If you guys needed a generator or a bulldozer, you know, just call. I mean, it's
Of course, something that's not as benign. If they were giving out riot shields and Kevlar helmets, would we require them?
they do those kind of things.
And we have.
Do we have it?
Yes.
Well, I believe
We acquired some of those.
through the 1033 line. So I know we have night vision and a couple of weapons through the 1033 program, and you can get BFUs. And a lot of small departments that can't afford to go out and buy stuff for their officers rely on it. And like I said, it's not restricted to just heavy equipment, big armored vehicles.
So you approve of the acquisition, you said?
Absolutely, 100%.
What's the name of that program?
It's the Texas 1033 program. It's actually, they're liaison through the Disposition Logistics Agency.
Shotguns.
Shotguns and the importing.
Shotguns.
See, I'm currently working with the NRA to get the sheriff's office new shotguns. Okay, through our friends of the NRA program, Mr. Jack Cannon. But I understood that y'all have a need for
Shotguns in bad shape.
That's money that comes out of private citizens' pockets to you. Remember, any surplus you get is equipment that we've already paid for through our taxes, federal taxes. Okay? And so, in a way, we are paying for that MRAP. Nothing's free. And I appreciate the dialogue, appreciate you coming in, because we needed to have this. We've got the vehicle now, we'll have to learn to live with it amongst us, okay? And to me, it's kind of like a grizzly bear on a chain. If you let it off its chain, make sure it's not hurting people who are feeding.
Well, and you know, like working Longview SWAT, we had our Bearcats out at all the schools, all events, where it's not this big, ugly looking man they're coming to run through our house. You know, it's a tool.
It gets the monster truck look.
Yes, yeah, everybody loves it. So
But you and I both know what starts for a very serious situation.
it is. And speaking from my training, I've trained SWAT training all over the state with big agencies, small agencies, and to utilize this for our benefit when it needs to roll, you can't. I mean, hands down, you can't beat it as a tool.
I just wanna make sure that if we were to have a Second Amendment rally downtown, it doesn't show up,
Right.
you know?
And that's, you know what, a lot of people get that, and we don't work for the government. We're not gonna show up and take anybody's guns. We're not gonna infringe on anybody's civil rights with this thing.
All I can ask you
saying that.
is that Jay's not gonna be here forever. That attitude may change over time.
Right.
Most things change not by revolution, but by evolution. Little bit at a time, things creep forward. And we're approaching a slippery slope with this militarization. We have militarized, but we're headed towards some militarization because we're using military type equipment.
Move on.
Okay,
Sir,
thank you for your time.
When you do get the rules of engagement or policy in this meeting, well, like I said,
let's call it policy. Rules of engagement sounds a little.
Right, but you know, and I both know it will be.
And if any of you guys have concerns or suggestions for that policy, please call. Sounds like. So I'll be open for suggestions. Yes, sir.
With all the things we could have applied for, we applied for an INRAF
We
92.
applied for a lot of other things as well. There's a lot of people are on that website at midnight, some available, whatnot, it's hard to get.
Try to keep in mind that, you know, it's like obtaining a horse for nothing. You still gonna be fed.
But can't put a price on something like here.
Well, you can, but I mean, what if it costs more? I mean, you could go to the nth degree with that.
I'm not gonna take that chance.
And I don't know how to ever get off the line. I don't like that statement.
Oh, man.
Thank you, guys. We've got some briefing on that. Thank you very much. Is there any other announcements, comments? Anybody? Okay. We'll move on. Move to item 5. I guess I'll move the table that. I don't know what you're saying. Thank you. Little short time to get those minutes. Now move the Partner all the way. Here's, consider treasurer's money.
Expenses are looking good except for our ag mower, which $237. That's the end of July, but our current has a little more than that. This is that. Yeah, we have another $100 in there now, but that is not enough to pay for the utility bill. So I think she'll. Yes, and the end balance is for July was
Wiley, second by Commissioner Rogers, to accept the treasurer's report as presented. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Budget amendments. Vouchers.
Not a lot today. Total is $24,392.78. And out of the general is $24,392.78. The general is $23,595. There was very little.
So look, okay. Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Sykes, to accept those vouchers payable as presented for approval. All in favor? Carried 5-0.
I also,
Another little item down there underneath that, Cheryl, that I don't think we should put the move on that $1,150 we're going to make in there.
No, and I talked to Doug Dorsey, and he's gonna be in town next week, and he said he'd come by and talk to, or this week, I'm sorry, he'd come by and talk to the judge about them, some different options. I told him y'all thought it was a little expensive and had concerns over, different options.
I don't know, if it comes right down to it, we can't fix it ourselves.
That's what I'm.
I don't want to spend none of that, we're getting lots of,
Yeah.
or spend what we spend here.
Any guarantee for it?
Can't be guaranteed. We need to go down the road to see if they don't owe us a little bit on that, to try to correct the situation.
I had an invoice from Rainbow, for materials and supplies. They asked us, and it was the jail inspection prompted all this. There was some tile torn up, I guess it was the seventh block,
Well, actually, there's like 8 different sales.
maybe different sales. Rainbow International. I didn't realize they did tile. Approximately 62 pieces of tile, 4 days to do it, and they charged $1,595. I had Ann check them down to jail development, which is dwindling down quickly, and we don't say anything else out of that, and we have
$3,797.
part of the budget,
$12,000.
3,000.
$3,797.
Then we have $3,800 left, this is $1,800.
This is 1,560.
Hey, Keith, was that from prisoners tearing it up?
Right, for over 8 year time period that we've been
And I always thought this when I was a deputy there, why can't we ever do this? If you know, do something like sitting there, and I know what they do, we can, whatever, just pick and pick and pick and pick. Why can't we start charging?
there. But we are penalized by am charging them.
Criminal mischief.
Right, right. Well, in the end, either segregation or either taking the money off their books if they have
That's the key word.
disciplinary.
I understand.
They have-
Top. Yeah,
They haven't done
right at the top. Like in the bathrooms.
well, shower areas, toilet areas.
And the covering that they couldn't tear up,
Jail development.
stainless steel.
They've snatched and stainless steel showers right off the wall.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's that barrel chain.
Yeah.
My motion, Mr. Molly, to approve that expense to come out of jail development, $1,595. Second by Commissioner Pruitt. All in favor? Carried.
And as Ann pointed out, checked in here today, there's $207 in there. I don't have any bills I'm holding right now, but I will be getting you utilities. And it's not being rented that much. I think utility bills usually are $500. So if bills come in, I'm not gonna, but I mean, if you want me to wait and see what comes in and bring it up at the next meeting, and see what I can do.
You said the bill was $5 a month,
He doesn't even use it for the 3 months in the summer, I don't know.
So I don't know if it's just here and there, they, you know, you do have a few items on it, but it's right there.
Wow.
No more than it's being used. Well, they don't, I mean, when they have the rooms, they are, you know, it's just those wall units, how many's in there. I know there's 2 or 3,
Yeah.
as you go in the door, but I don't think, yeah. But,
When you get something back, I'll figure out what we can do.
and if I get something in the next week or 2, it probably be good. Just wanted to mention that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Item number 9, consider department action, Texas PTX, on the liquor bill grant program that's something we talked about, the budget for that. That's the $350 county grant to non-health center and $850 grant to Young County Senior Citizens here, grant, Senior Citizens Association. Comes by every year, there's a Texas Department of Agriculture grant that each one of those agencies deals on with preparing and serving delivery means for the age citizens of our county. They can apply for that TDA grant. They require that the county participate in that to some degree by resolution. It's a resolution, I think, for each one of those. In your package. One of them, just keep going.
I'm ready to move on.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Sykes and second by Mr. Pruitt to authorize those grants for the ensuing year, $350 on the Code Center and $350 grant for Senior Citizens, Young County Senior Citizens Association. Our resolution that authorize the sign those resolutions. We'll send it back to Brown Senior Citizens Office.
Those are great programs. We participated in the Meals on Wheels at my insurance office for the past 5-6 years. Those folks who do those meals too are really in need of that service. It's a very good program. I think that's one of those things.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, you want to, Cheryl, discuss this next?
Yeah, this is what, this guy's been, but this is what he talked to Chris Bear. Did you get a chance to talk? But this contract will be January 1st, 15th, December 31st, 15th, at $232 a month. And we're allowed him to do background check and the other Lexus taxes. So it's paid with the law library. If you want to talk to Chris first.
Remember, do you know what program we're talking about here?
I can't understand, couldn't hear what she was saying.
It's called the Texas Enhanced National Primary. It's so allowed to do background checks for different things.
How do you want background check with us?
How do you work on this?
We've got, criminal histories from, Texas Department of Public Safety, which covers anything that you find in criminal history in Texas. We usually get, in most cases, the, law enforcement, NCIC, National Crime Record, all the case together for the report and so forth to the office.
You no longer have Lexus taxes.
Well, I had no use for Lexus, and I don't know, come here to go, a long time ago. I said, take it off of mine, I don't use it, I don't want it.
That's the
Yes,
Did they run it for the county there?
But then you,
no, they don't have that, this part of it. And I
But
think
they still Lexus and Nexus are not in that program.
And I think this is actually that license for like re-licensing, I think a couple of other offices that you should use to do that.
They say they're on way to college in some way.
What's it supposed to do? Mainly background checks, but anything else that Lexus Nexus provides. I have, you want to know, Chris has talked to the guy, he's, I have Chris.
I think,
I'm not talking to the guy.
I like to talk to Chris.
Well, I'm Chris, the guy.
Yeah. If he wants it so bad,
Cause I don't know what he's told Chris,
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
especially for redundancy.
Yeah.
Is this just regular Lexus account?
No, because this, the county attorney that, it would be that, and it'd also be for that background.
Okay, so it's
An additional.
enhanced package.
See, and I almost bet, I know this number, that is unlimited search. And I wonder how many searches it will actually be on. And if you throw one, 2 or 3 searches, you might be able to search.
That's beneficiary.
$40 search would be cheaper.
Chris did, I mean, he,
It's supposed to be criminal background, criminal issue background, or is it like a total personal background?
I think it's,
Where do they
I think it's
live,
both of those. I
their
think it's,
addresses, where they live, phone numbers, all of that.
thought maybe it would help.
Lexus,
Find-
LexisNexis in total has so much information out there that it's hard to imagine. They have every newspaper published in the world, in all the languages that they're published in, all the books, magazines, periodicals that are published anywhere in the world is all accessible through there. It's expensive as heck if you go with full access.
We turned a contract down on that last year.
Yes, next month. Well, it actually comes out online.
It's just sturdy firewall.
But it's quite a bit cheaper than that.
All installation.
They have, I mean, I don't know if it says online services, subscription, whatever it means, Texas Enhanced Government Action Primary, news, legal file, law reviews and journals, Texas litigation, Texas criminal guide, or civil practice, and city and county.
well, county judge said he has it, she has it. Why can't he just speak back over what they have?
Well, this was the enhancement that would do a little more, but
You know, more than they.
I'll talk to them.
Sorry, do you use yours, Judge? Do you use yours one?
I use it some.
I'll talk to Chris about it, but Chris, it's the salesman.
No action,
Yeah.
just,
You go for himself.
okay, you've got letter in your packet. Comes from a person named Randy Owens. I've had this 2 or 3 times. Like your resolution, that would be adopted. And like our district representative, state senator, no values in regard to treatment of our vets. I think I sent y'all a link to that. Did you go through it? Got any comments, Mike?
I think basically what it asks us to do is just wave the flag in front of their face to make them pay attention to it. Once again, this hyperbaric oxygen therapy has been around for quite a while. It does have some good results in a lot of situations. I don't understand what the thinking is not allowing those people access to it, or what the conditions are where they get access to it, but I for one have no problem with asking them to take a look at it and see if there's something positive that can be done in those regards. Once again, I think we owe our veterans everything we can to do it. I know there's a limit to money and what have you, but I see no problem with the resolution. It really means nothing except that we've considered it and we think it may be a good idea.
They used to build these only, and people used to even come from stay in a hotel, take treatments, and things
change people's lives the way I think it's trying to encourage our legislature to appropriate funds, I think, to allow the street from 10 to maybe make that part of the VA.
I think that's what you're saying.
That's the deal, it's not part of the criteria right now. And they're very strict on what they will spend money on.
I think it's, they define therapy regimens, and this is not it, they went ahead and put this in that therapy.
Which I think in this hyperbaric situation, there's so many different areas that it affects and helps. You take somebody with diabetes that just had surgery, been cut, and they won't heal right. So use that 3 or 4 times, and they heal right too good. That's what it does. It just got positive all around.
That's supposed to eliminate the drug uses or,
Yeah.
drug uses.
Take away the pain. That's what I say something like that. Sounds like.
Mr. Robbins, second by Williams. Adopt this resolution. And also make a copy to our state senator representative. And so, also, thank you. Send these on our next one.
So the VA was going to go.
Yeah, I think I did see. Okay, this also. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Yep, I don't know if there's anything we need to do on that well.
You take it off the deal.
Describe that as no action. Sir, unless anybody we discuss any of that.
That train's left the station for this year.
Until next year.
Is there anything that we want to do with regard to the park restrictions?
I'm gonna say if we don't get a rain this week,
I'm not reading
we'll have to
Saturday.
reconsider next time.
It's getting fall, winter's gonna be coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hunter's gonna be getting in the pastures.
We get all kinds of rain in here.
They're,
We're scheduled.
Motion to adjourn.
Don't anybody leave yet.
just like sign. It's 1 hour long meeting. It's been a while. People get there. I don't feel right about leaving, do you? But I can't. Get a recess today.